School administrators must have the ability to understand, manage, and plan various aspects of school management. School administrators must be both instructional and operational leaders. Those in charge must be prepared to deal with managing human resources, have an understanding of financial resources, handle daily operations, and ensure that the facility is maintained. I am going to just briefly go over the things that I learned about my school and about my district. So background about where I work. I teach at Statesboro High School, which is the largest of the 3 high schools in Bullitt County. We have about 1,600 students. The school was founded in 1901, and so it has a big history here in Statesboro, and it started out as an all-white school, and now our student population is extremely diverse. We are 49.7% African American, 37.7% Caucasian, 5.7% Hispanic, 4.1% multiracial, 2.4% Asian, and 0.43% American Indian. In regards to the human resources, we have a director of human resources at the district level, and that would be Philip Trimble. And so his job includes making sure that all of the schools and educators and administrators are in compliance with the standards. He's also responsible for the hiring and dismissal procedures of certified staff and all employees. He aids in the creation and follow-through of our district's diversity plan. At our school level, Dr. LeCain is obviously the person, our principal, who is in charge of those things at our site. So talking about our staffing plan, Dr. LeCain is in charge of nearly 140 people. There are 86 certified teachers, 14 lunchroom workers, 10 custodians, and 26 support staff. And so basically our school operates as 4 different grade levels, kind of working parallel. So each grade level obviously has an administrator and a counselor that is that stays with those students. The counselor stays with the students all 4 years. And then every department has a department head, and so the department head is the communicator between their entire department and the administrators. And our hiring process. We follow the same hiring process as our county, and so everything is done online. You have to submit your application, depending on what the job is. There may be essay questions that have to be answered as the first step in that process, in the hiring process. And so anytime that that's done, in order to ensure fairness, it is a blind process. So all identifying information is removed from those essays, and then a panel is created, generally of teachers, maybe an administrator, and a community member. To review those, grade them based on a rubric, and then they select the top candidates from there to actually come in for a face-to-face interview. Our district is an equal opportunity employer, so they do not discriminate based on sex, religion, race, age, handicap, all those fun things. And then before they will actually employ you, you have to pass a background check. The diversity plan is a super hot topic right now in Bullitt County, and I'm going to read this word for word because this is exactly how my principal stated it to me. Bullitt County has a county-wide commitment to work towards having a staff that is reflective of its student body. In our district, almost 60% of our student body is African American, and only 16% of our certified staff is Black. Our county is aware of this discrepancy and is currently working towards a solution. The management of financial resources and purchasing. Dr. LeCain is obviously super duper busy. He told me that I could come back and he could answer a lot of those questions for me. And as far as like the insurance and the benefits, all of that is handled at the county level. BJ Brannon is our go-to person for that, and that was pretty much all the information that he gave me on that. The daily operations, again, Statesboro High has about 1,600 kids, and so it is imperative that we have a strategic plan in place for everything, because otherwise it would just be complete chaos. And so in that strategic plan, you have your bell schedule, you have your master schedule, you have the plan to make sure that you are meeting the needs of all of your learners, emergency action plans, and then how you communicate all of that with students, parents, and stakeholders. So our intake and dismissal procedures, high school is a little bit different because students can bring themselves. So we have lots of ways that kids get to school. Some walk, some ride bikes, some drive their own cars, some still get dropped off. And then we still have lots of kids who ride the school bus. And so in our district, we have an awesome transportation department. We have a assistant superintendent over transportation, and then the operator of the bus garage is Janet Tanner, and she is fabulous. And so most of the time the buses work like clockwork. They begin arriving about 7:20. And the students are normally all dropped off by 7:50. So that means that the doors of our school open at 7:20. And our intake bell to start the day is 7:53. And then we have our precious darlings for a 7-period day. So it's about 55 minutes of class. And they have 5 minutes in between class to get from point A to point B. And then we have 2 separate bells to dismiss our students at the end of the day. The downstairs bell rings at 3:04, so that is your underclassmen, and hoping that those kids can get to their lockers, get out to the bus, and get out of the way. And then your upperclassmen come down the stairs 4 minutes later and go where they're going. So the staggered release really is helpful at the end of the day. The master schedule is a big undertaking. It is a collaboration between school administrators, guidance counselors, and the department heads. There was actually an issue with our master schedule, so it still has not been released for next year. Lots of teachers are on pins and needles waiting for that to come out. But basically you determine how many segments you need, and then you kind of have your bare bones structure, and then you begin to create the rest of your schedule around the needs of your students. And of course, the schedule is started using our special education students. So we make sure that those students' needs are met first, and then everything else is built around them. So at Statesboro High, we have everything from self-contained to advanced placement. We have common twin planning, and then we have common grade level planning. Here, most teachers teach 5 out of 7 classes in a day. I only get 1 planning. Awesome. I teach 6 out of 7. But that planning and collaboration time is built into the schedule. So on one of their plannings once a week, teachers have to meet with their twins and work in their PLC. And then on the 1 day a week on one of their plannings, they meet as a grade level to discuss students' pass and failure rates. So discipline is, don't even get me started on discipline. It's the last week of school, so kids are going crazy. But we have a county handbook and a Statesboro High student handbook, and it has your code of ethics, and it outlines everything that would happen in various types of situations. I do not feel like the district or our school does a good job of revisiting, adjusting, or reinforcing our policies on discipline. Emergency action plans, we again have county emergency action plans, and then we have emergency action plans at Statesboro High. So we have emergency action plans for during the school day, on a bus, and then like for heat safety. We have a emergency management team. We meet once a year to go over and make any adjustments that we feel that we need to make. Of course, we meet the requirements of a fire drill every month. You have your severe weather drill twice a year. We have a nurse that is on campus all day long. And we are lucky that we have a certified athletic trainer for all athletic events. Communication. Again, I think that communication could always be improved, but I feel like we use lots of different communication types, styles. We have the call outs, emails. Teachers communicate using the phones in our rooms, and Google Chat. And then, of course, like communication to parents and stakeholders, we are all required to have a teacher website. It has to be updated they want it updated weekly. That doesn't necessarily always happen. We have social media pages, so we have a Twitter page, we have a Facebook page, and we try to keep the athletic Twitter page up to date so that kids can share that and talk about the good things that are happening. And then obviously we have parent-teacher conferences. We have open house, the upcoming freshman orientation that occurs. And then, of course, we have a district media consultant who puts out fires when fires arise, and she does a great job of displaying some of the things that are going on at the school level within our county. Facility maintenance was the last part of the paper, and so our 5-year plan, we are actually trying to add another structure to our campus. We are outgrowing our current facility, and we are trying to get a wrestling, cheerleading, weight room facility added because we are just operating over max capacity. There are not enough places for our athletes to practice, and so that is was presented to the board to be part of the next SPLOST. So we'll see if that happens. Fingers crossed. And then the county is really responsible for all facilities maintenance. It's kind of ridiculous. You can't change a light bulb without submitting a work order and them sending someone over from the county to do that. And so most of the time things get done in a timely manner. However, that's not always the case. Our custodial plan and ground maintenance, again, that's controlled at the county level. There is a maintenance crew that comes out and cuts the grass, paints the lines on the football field during football season and soccer season, and they will every so often paint the lines in the parking lot. Let's see. The interior of the building is maintained by our awesome custodial staff, and so they are responsible for taking the trash out of the teachers' rooms and then out of the school. We partner with Keep Bullock Beautiful, and we have a recycling program at our school, and the kids actually really enjoy it. We have the different bins set up in the cafeteria for plastic, and then by the media center there's one for paper, and the kids really do utilize it, so that's awesome. And then the district orders the office supplies, the cleaning supplies in bulk, and then those are distributed to the schools and then divvied out by the principal. Instructional materials, all of that is run through the school. Teachers have to submit a purchase order. Generally the department heads will get with all the members of their department to figure out what their needs are. They order, they're given a budget, they stay within that budget, they order their items, and then those are dispersed to their department. And so that gets us to the reflection portion. Woo-wee, we're almost done. This basically, I just said that this opened my eyes to all the hats that our administrators wear. One thing is apparent, that nobody could do all of this by themselves. An infrastructure must be in place to ensure that those things get taken care of. Collaboration has to occur on a daily basis to get it all done. And I feel that my district and my school are far from error-free, but I feel like overall we operate very efficiently. And then I also recognize that I still have so much to learn in regards to the operating process within my building. Thanks for listening.